Hello guys, welcome here to a delayed edition of Out of Turn 4. I'm Brian here, coming up on the show today. We are going to recap Kansas. We're going to discuss some of the latest news in NASCAR and IndyCar, and then we'll have our picks. Of course, we're going to focus heavily on the news today. And we begin, of course, with the IndyCar Championship at Laguna Seca. Of course, Scott Dixon wins the race. However, Alex Palou is the champion who entered this race, locked it. He already won it entering Laguna, and he finished the deal today. Congratulations to him. Job well done. No doubt in my mind he was going to win this title. Based on, even in Mid-Ohio, I was more shocked he just didn't lock it up the week prior. So, congratulations, well-deserved Alex Palou, and now he's on his big media tour. So, we'll get to see him across some local stations and whatnot. As far as my review of the IndyCar season, there's hope. That's all I'm going to say about this. There's hope for a bright future for the sport. There's just hope for a lot of things. And I think, while the championship was not thrilling, let's face it, the championship was a dud. There's a silver lining in all this, and that is that we had good racing. We had probably the best racing we've had. The ratings have been higher than they were 7 years ago. So I think there's some optimism. I think there's some good things here we can take going forward. There are new fans, there are returning fans. And frankly, it's still better racing than Formula One. I think those are the biggest takeaways from the season. While it wasn't as wide open as it's been in recent years, we'd have 2 to 3 guys, sometimes even 6 that are battling for the title. We didn't have that, unfortunately. Despite it was still good racing, though. The guy showed until the end of Dixon kind of came through, but nonetheless, good season. It was fun to watch, and now for the dreaded, unbelievable off season that we are going to see until March. So we'll have NASCAR though. Let's talk about that. And we'll get. By the way, about Luna though, that race. Oh my God! Every time he glanced over, it was under caution. I'm like, come on, what the hell is going on? Needless to say, it was a mean race, a rare wreck fest for the car, much like Nashville. But overall, I think it was a good finish. Dixon winning. Now again, dreaded long off season into the NASCAR side of things. And Christian Eckes, he wins the truck race at Kansas, and that will lock into the next round. So congratulations to him. Don't have much else to talk about for the truck series. I didn't get to watch that race in Xfinity. But John Hunter Nemechek, he wins the Kansas Lottery 300. Continues a hot streak entering the playoffs. And man, this guy likely a championship favorite now. Or the championship favorite now. So, best of luck to everybody at this point in time. But, yeah, and then, of course, going on to the Cup Series, and we gotta talk about this, because, Tyler Reddick, he wins the Cup race at Kansas. He will advance to the round of 12, but, man, the end, I have such great disdain for the other guys. How do you lag back that far? Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson should have been penalized. And I'm sorry, it's the truth. NASCAR needs to impose some penalties and say, look, if they see cars lagging back, they need to just have their finger ready to go on the yellow light and say, look, we're with the restart. And I think Denny talked about it on his podcast, too, which was very valid points that, hey, if you're lagging back that much, yeah, you need to, like I said, rethrow the caution, say one more time around, then take a green. And if anybody's lagging back, personally, I think it should be a penalty. Or whatever positions you gained at the end of the race, you should be penalized. If you're not going to re-rack them, I say whatever car lags back and gains positions, I say take those positions away, plus whatever positions, you know, I say you double the positions. So if, say, Denny Hamlin moved from 8th to 2nd, you not only move him back to 8th, but you move him back to 14th and say, hey, we're not, send the message, we are not going to tolerate like that. Need to send that message. So I want to see it. Just please send the message. This can't happen. I mean, even IndyCar re-racks them when they try to jump the start, or lag back on the start. Something's got to be done. I agree with him on a little bit this right here. I do agree with him on. But anyway, let's get on to this. I tried pulling up on my phone. My phone is not loading for some reason. So I'm going to pull it up on my computer and hope for the best. I know there was some NASCAR Cup news. I know Colleague Racing is expected to announce their driver lineup for 2024 this week. And Noah Gragson being reinstated, something tells me it might have something to do with Noah Gragson on the Cup side. But I do want to talk about this, going back to the Kansas race. Let's kind of go in chronological order here. Of course, Martin Truex, by the way, blew a tire early, and now he is 7 points out of the playoffs, entering Bristol. Ah, man, I love it. He comes back. He says, I'm coming back in 2024, and this happens. As a Truex hater, I love this. But man, I mean, what a big fall this would be if Truex gets eliminated. I mean, a big fall. Because I don't think someone's got to look up the statistics. I don't think any regular season champion's been eliminated in the round of 16, and Truex could be the first. So, just unbelievable. And we'll have to see what happens at Bristol. I know that's not statistically one of his best tracks. So, might be even more reason for them to be sounding the alarm entering the Bristol night race this week. Stage breaks. They are going to return for the Charlotte Roval race. And in addition, the restart zone has been moved to the final turn as opposed to the front straightaway. I thought it was unique that we restarted in the trial. Well, now I get it. They're carrying way more speed going into turn 1 than they are on a normal race lap. But, man, it was the one thing that made you unique. That's what gets me. It's the one thing that made them so unique in this whole matter. And now they took it away. And then as far as the stage breaks, 1 step forward, 5 steps backward. You you people that complain about boring races really just ought to just either learn to love them or just stop watching the sport, to be honest. I mean, look, stage cautions shouldn't be happening. That's the end of discussion there. At least on the road courses, it's a strategy race. Okay, look at F1, look at IndyCar. There are no stage breaks. There are no planned cautions. Come on, let's just have one track type where we can, throw things out the window and say, hey, you know what? We're going to make it interesting. No stage breaks, no stage cautions. Let's make these teams have to play for strategy. Come on. Just the lack of creativity is what gets me so frustrated about this. Man. Not much else to say on that. Of course, we know the on the IndyCar side, of course, David Malukas, he will be joining Arrow McLaren as it was announced this week. He'll replace Felix Rosenqvist. That is a huge gain for Arrow McLaren. And David Malukas will finally get a shot in a big ride. And I like this because he's just so good on those ovals. And the potential of adding more ovals means that he will be a force to be reckoned with next year in the number 6. So good move for Arrow McLaren, and I like this. Him, Rossi O'Ward should be quite a strong and deadly combination. Speaking of McLaren, Pato O'Ward was apparently told he needed to finish 3rd in the championship in front of Joseph Newgart, or ahead of Scotty Mack in the point standings. If he had done that, he would have gotten his F1 super license, which would have allowed him to be McLaren's reserve driver for next season. I don't know how true those rumors are, but I hope to God they weren't, and thank God they weren't, or thank God it didn't come to fruition so that way we'd find out. You guys know, if you watch this show so much, you know I don't think Formula One is racing. Plain and simple. So kind of glad. I selfishly want to keep Pato and Alex Palou in IndyCar because I feel like they are just vastly more successful in IndyCar and will have better careers there than they will in F1. So glad to see that Pato will be returning. Selfishly glad. Oh shoot. Apparently we got an ad playing on here. Sorry, gotta close out of that. Sorry about that, guys. But going off of that, Marcus Armstrong will be running full-time NTT IndyCar Series. He'll be going full-time in NTT IndyCar Series driving in 2024 with Chip Ganassi Racing rounding out that 4-car lineup. Congratulations to him. He is such a talented young driver. He missed 5 races this year and still won the Rookie of the Year. And now I can't wait to see what he does on the ovals, because that man is dangerous, to say the least. So Marcus is going to be a winner. Chip Ganassi is winners. So I am incredibly happy to see that come to fruition for him. It was rumored, now it's true. Other than that, don't think there's any other news. Carson Kvapil will be making his truck debut this weekend. That's a big story. Good to see that. But other than that, Graham Rahal close to a deal with Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan. Kind of not surprised based on their second half rebound. And now, of course, the biggest piece is the Dale Coyne racing car, the 30 IndyCar, or the 30 Ray Hall Letterman car. So we'll have to follow that very closely. So with that, let's make our picks for the race weekend, and let me pull up the entry list. And I promise you guys going forward, we're going to try to have this up on time. I meant to record it last night. I fell asleep. I was just too damn tired to do this, and football was on, so even more reason I didn't want to do this. Let's begin with the trucks at Bristol, which I believe is a Thursday night race if it will load. Here we go. Sorry, opening it up now. I'm looking at this entry list. I like Matt DiBenedetto here. So I'm going to go with the wild card. I'm going to say Matt DiBenedetto gets the win. He's been so close in the Cup Series to winning here. And I know he wants to leave Rackley War with a win, maybe two. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Xfinity Series at Bristol. I'm pulling up that entry list now. I like Justin Allgaier. This track's been good to him in the past. So I do believe it will pay dividends here for him. So Justin Allgaier, he'll win. He'll advance to the next round. Then, of course, we got the Bass Pro Shops night race, the big race of the weekend, and what many people consider to be a marquee event on the schedule. I am going to take Kevin Harvick. This is a race he won last year. Or, no, wait. Chris Buescher won this race last year, but I think he could definitely wreak some